Hi, welcome everybody. Doug and Karen, just a little quick hello. Karen's about to head to Australia and
In the morning.
in the morning,
Yeah.
and I've only just got back from the conference up in Bemidji,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. It actually wasn't that much snow, but it was flaming cold.
Cold.
And I arrived there after 12 hours of flying, and it was like 3 degrees.
Oh.
And everyone says, you missed the good weather. It was minus 30 last week. So the Minnesotans are walking around. Kevin Sorbo arrived while I was there with his shorts on. He must be an ex-Minnesotan before he went to California or whatever.
He is, yeah.
But anyway, while I was up there, I did a little interview with my daughter, Shana, and a lot of people seemed to enjoy it. And I thought, I need to do more with my wife, and now she's heading off.
Yeah, so we won't get to for a while.
I mean, who knows? Jesus might come back in between, and then we don't get to do this again. Who knows?
Yeah.
But just wanted to connect with whoever is out there, and also
we wanted to also share something pretty exciting. This is, hang on, let me get it in here. This is the second, which way? There it is. This is the second book that Doug has. It's called Good Dad, Bad Dad. It's a picture of a man on there, and then on the back we've got a picture of Doug and a little bit of stuff there. So, yep, this is the second book. It's actually out at the moment on Amazon and also on Kindle. If you go to Amazon, you can order the Kindle or the Amazon one. And so that works pretty good. It's also got like the QR code there. Oh, no, actually, it doesn't have that. You probably don't need that on Amazon. But anyway, you can go to Amazon and just put Doug Stanton, Good Dad, Bad Dad, and you can order it that way. But pretty exciting to actually have that out now. But probably the next few meetings that we do, wherever we end up in Minnesota or New York or wherever we go, we'll actually have some of these with us on the table, but we didn't get to have them in Minnesota.
Publication was supposed to be ready for the conference, but in the publishing blurb that you put together, I actually put a date on it and forgot to change it.
Whoops.
So they came out 2 days before the conference. So it was too late to get the copies.
Yeah.
But also we will have copies here for anyone that's not Amazon ready or whatever, and you just want to order one off us and we mail it to you. Maybe if you just allow a couple of dollars for mail or whatever.
It's actually easier if they just buy it on Amazon.
It's easier. But if you want Karen and I to signature it or something, or write something on it to make it to personalize, a lot of people seem to want that. I sold all my books at the conference, which was my first book.
It's only theory until you do it.
Yeah, I've got to think what it's called. I'm on my third book now.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the wound of rejection on my third book. And a lot of things in a book I can put line upon line detail, still have the stories and the experiences and the scriptures, but where I can actually get enough detail where you could read that book and study it and change your life, or change someone else's life if you buy it for them. So the Good Dad, Bad Dad book that we have here is, I guess I got the title one day. I was looking at Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I thought there's two extremes. But sometimes there's a good dad and a bad dad all in the one package,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even look at my own life and say there's not things that I wish I changed somewhere when I look back in time. And then there, of course, all the extremes of dads that had no dads, or dads that were drunks, and then they get married and they end up, not having a successful marriage, and the impact on the children. So there's every aspect in that book about. Karen's read it. I haven't.
Yeah, I proofread it first and got all the spelling mistakes, and I'm usually the grammar police, so I can do that job pretty good. But yeah, so I have read the whole book because I had to.
It's not as big as the last book for all you that aren't readers.
It's got how many pages?
It's also on Kindle. I think it's about 140 something pages. Maybe 174 pages.
Yeah.
But it's big, a little bit bigger print for us old people. that you can read it without having to put your readers on? Well, maybe. And
173 pages.
the reason I'm writing that is not to become a wealthy author. It's because over the years in our meetings and whatever, we share things that have helped transform people's lives. And that's my heart. And I hope that you could read this book, regardless of how you think you are as a man or as a father. But I call it fatherhood in a fatherless generation.
Yeah.
And so address media, that sometimes it's so convenient, just put an iPad or a tablet in front of your children and let them parent your children. And of course, we've seen all the dramas of gender euphoria and all the stuff that goes on in our public schools.
It's terrible.
So I address a lot of those subjects in hopefully a balanced way that would help anybody, really, and help a wife understand her husband. It's not just for men. Do you understand me yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's why you're leaving me for 3 weeks. No. Pray for Karen. She's heading off for 3 weeks, and her mum's getting a little older, been through some really hard health issues. And so, I just felt it was good for her to get over there.
Yeah, spend some time with my mum.
Spend some time, just
I'm looking
particularly.
forward to it. She's looking forward to it too. I'll get to see my sister and her husband and maybe my brother if he's in the area at the time, and his wife. But that'll be good.
We might even do this while she's in Australia and I'm here.
There you go.
And do it on Zoom.
And then you can hear some kookaburras and some Australian birds in the background.
Have a little look at Australia. Also, as Shana mentioned, when I did that with Shana, I'm going to do some with her as a father and sometimes mother, maybe, to address some of the things of ministry and now with our kids in ministry. It was really, I think a lot of people enjoyed not only my perspective, which people get to hear, but hearing our daughter's perspective.
From a kid's point of view.
And growing up and living in it and being about the father's business, literally her father's business, and then one day going, look, I've always loved what Dad said and Mum said and things I learned off Mum in the music and all that, but she had to become her own person.
Yeah.
And I was really blessed while we were talking. We didn't mean to do that one. I said, we'll do it sometime, and I set up the lighting in her kitchen, and I said, let's do a sound check, and then we kept going.
Yeah.
But
it's good to see your kids grow up and you teach them certain things, like especially in ministry and that, and then they sort of walk that out for a little bit, and then they learn their own things and have their own thoughts on things, and God grows them through different things that they go through and different experiences, and it's good to watch them just grow into that and step into their own ministries and that. So that's been very rewarding as a parent to watch that happen.
I just think I need to get a higher chair for you. I have to get you a high chair.
I can sit up a bit taller.
Oh, you're slouching.
If
my mum was here,
I'm actually leaning on
my dad would have hit the table and say, sit up.
I'm actually leaning on the arm of the chair, but I could sit up a bit taller.
But one of the things I was thinking, and I'd like to do this a bit more, maybe you can give us some feedback on what you think, but when you hear Shana or Karen talking, a lot of you that have known us for a long time, you've heard me a lot. I think it's really interesting to hear a wife's perspective and to hear what it's like to be a minister's wife, and not just ministry, but growing in God, the things you learn, eventually maturity catches up. And
I'm actually in the process. I've written one chapter, but I'm actually in the process of writing a book myself. It's called The Daughter of the King. So, but I'm going to write a little bit about some of those things about being in ministry and marrying a minister and what it's like to live through that and and grow through that, and the mistakes, the good times and the bad times, and it's been 38 38 years.
The husband should know the dates.
That's right. I was just running them through in my head.
But I had to think about it a bit. But
yeah, you learn a lot of things, and it's not always through the good times. you learn a lot of things through the hard times too. But I think that's what God uses to grow us and to build our character if we allow him to. And so that book will be coming out a little bit later, but it's not quite ready yet. Still got some writing to do.
I'm encouraging her in that because, when your heart is music and worship and all that kind of stuff, sometimes you don't see yourself as the preacher or the writer or whatever. And, I've just watched the wisdom of my wife, and I see it in my kids, but Karen has been an amazing part of my ministry, or our ministry, I should say, and our children, and endured through accidents and hard times. And there's a lot of politics behind the scenes that no one ever gets to see. And some of those have been really hard for me as a person that really gives his very best all the time. And then someone has a different perspective of that or cuts in on you. And what we've always chosen is to never expose that to the body.
It's not that you don't feel like it, but
it's not like we weren't tempted, but
right.
It's like a parent. You don't want your kids, even when you're going through hard times, you don't want to put that on your little children.
Yeah.
And that's always tragic in a divorce or a broken family where the parents aren't wise enough to not use their kids as pawns.
Yeah, that's really sad.
We've been negotiating that a little bit in our own personal family, and it's hard, but what I'm seeing in my wife or in my children, and they're all different, we're all different, is that the adversity actually, when God gets hold of that adversity, he actually works it together for good.
Yeah, that's true.
And you'd be, when you look back.
I definitely deal with things a lot different today than what I used to back when we were first married.
She was pretty fiery.
I was pretty fiery, and if I was thinking something, it was going to come out of my mouth. But I have learnt now that it's not always worth it to say what you're thinking. I mean, it doesn't stop the thoughts from coming in your head, but yeah, definitely learnt to bring some of those ones captive and just keep it to myself.
I mean, I used to say, even though it was hard, because she was pretty, I didn't have to guess if my wife was upset over something or didn't agree with something. But I'd had a relationship before that where I had no clue what my other person that I was in love with was going to do or think, because it was kept all inside. And you might be a person that doesn't express yourself or keeps things inside, and there's a reason for that. And that's what we're addressing with our ministry. We're addressing that with anything that we write or record, because we want to help you. So this is not a show for us.
No.
It's not Hollywood. It's we try to do it as professionally and as well recorded as we can. But we appreciate you people, and as below we've got address and a few things on there, our webpage and our dsmistore.org, where you can get materials. And I don't think we got the books on there yet, but we will.
No, I don't believe we have.
And also this book, Good Dad, Bad Dad. It is also on Kindle. So if you're a Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free. If you want it just to go onto your tablet, I think it's $9 something. It's a $14 something book if you buy it, which I think
it's $14.99 and $9.99 for
cheap
Kindle,
at twice the price, in my opinion. But anyway, it's just there so we can keep getting them out there to people. As I said, I could have taken twice as many books to the conference. And people, once we'd preached a couple of times, even people had never met me before, just sort of came and got the books, and I became a bit of a star, signing my name on lots of books, which is not my thing.
Did you feel important?
No, I didn't. I just think what a terrible signature I've got. I need to think of a Trump kind of, big, fancy signature or something.
Need a black marker.
No, I don't do it for any of those reasons, but it touches your heart when it means something to someone else. Could you sign this, Doug? Could you date it? Could you say something on it? And over the years, when lives have changed in a meeting, sometimes it's a young boy or a girl comes up, and or anyone for that matter, and they say, "Could you please write on my Bible?" And I think, well, I write all over my Bible, but I don't want to make a mess of your Bible.
Yeah, right.
But I realise that they value what we've done for them, you know. And I hope everyone listening here realises how valuable you are, and that your insight and the things you've learnt are important to share with someone all the time.
We all learn different lessons through life, and if we can learn from each other's mistakes, then maybe we won't have to go through the same one. But then there's also the people out there that are just absolute hardheads that have to learn everything the hard way by going through it. And you're just always going to get people like that. But we sort of hope that the things that we share either in books or in ministry are things that actually people can learn. And Bluey, stop.
Settle down, Blue. You wonder who we're talking to.
Bluey wants to talk to you. But yeah, so just really good to learn from other people's mistakes, and I think it's important to be a good listener, to actually learn. You know, Bluey's trying.
Sorry, I thought Blue would come up and speak to you, but
she was trying to jump
she's
up.
a little bit shy. She's not used to the studio.
No, she wants.
But anyway,
That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we could share. I'd love to come back and do more of this, whether it's while Karen's overseas or after she comes back, and just share, you know, things that you might get a kick of. I think when people know us, they love to see Karen there, or my kids, especially those that have come a long journey with us from the early days in Brooklyn Park. Your eyes go red. Looks a bit spooky. We got the big studio lights there, and it makes Bluey look a little bit like he'd been possessed. She's been possessed. But Bluey is a big part of our life. I never thought I'd love a dog. And I think it was Patrick Swayze, he had a lot of big dogs, like my son's got big dogs. You walk in, you can smell dogs, you know. And he said, well, I'm glad you can smell the dog, because you can smell faithfulness, devotion, commitment, loyalty. And I thought that's really clever, because I don't like walking in and smelling a dog in a house either, especially if it's not my dog. But you can't get an animal that's more loving, more affectionate, more devoted. This is my Velcro dog, and you still don't lick me on the face, because I saw what you were licking outside before you came in to want to cuddle me. But you know, yeah, me too. Yeah, I love you too. But, you know, imagine when we get to heaven. I don't know whether Bluey will be there or not, whether there's dog heaven.
I hope so.
I mean, when you think about it, we're on the earth for another 1,000 years after Jesus comes back.
Well, there's going to be animals up there. If there's horses up there, well, I'm sure there's going to be animals.
Well, we're talking about down here. Like we're actually going up and coming back.
Yeah.
We're going to rule and reign with Christ for 1,000 years here. A lot of people don't think about that. In fact, I just threw that out there at the conference. Amazing how many men that have sat in church all their life, they came in, wow, it just hit me that if we're overcomers here on earth, we will be ruling and reigning with Christ for 1,000 years on this earth before we go into the everlasting kingdom. And so they're all topics. Can you see his red eyes there? you look a little spooky there with those eyes. I hope my eyes aren't doing that. But anyway, we love you guys. And again, go to Amazon.com, order a copy of the book. And for those ordering my first book, which is it's only theory until you do it. A lot of people have enjoyed it and appreciate it. A lot of people are studying it. There's a lot in there. Don't just read it like a novel. Go back and mark the chapters that mean something to you, and go back and think about it. But whatever book you get, and I'm going to probably have quite a few of them as I change my focus and do a lot more books and things, that they will benefit you. And so I hope that you can. What I was getting to was, please go to Amazon. You know, that the stars. And if you like it, if you don't like it, stay clear of it.
Rate it, Give it.
Don't give me
rating.
a bad rating. But if you believe, you know who we are, and you can give us a 5 or a 4 or whatever.
At least a 5.
At least a 5. I think all the ones I've got are 5. But that helps the book get out there to where others that don't know us can actually see it. And if you go in, look up Doug Stanton, you'll see there's only 2 Doug Stantons that are authors, and I'm one of them. And the other one writes about battleships and the movie 12 Strong and some of those things. So I'm in amongst that. And hopefully I'll start to have as many books as him as I get my life sort of heading in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got anything else you want to share with them? Words of wisdom, revelation?
Words of wisdom. I can't think of anything right now.
You sound like Kamala Harris, but
what?
Can't think of anything important right now that I would have changed.
That's scary.
What I was thinking, when one of the major things that stands out to me as your husband is the peace that passes all understanding. I mean, you know, for many years, that quick temper or whatever it was that was down inside that God healed, it didn't allow you to have peace. And
no, not at all.
So just encourage people that maybe struggle with peace.
Well, I think if I would have realized a lot sooner that I could have the peace that I have today, I definitely would have pushed into it a lot sooner. But some people are so used to living in turmoil and living from one drama to the next that they just live like that all the time, and they don't even think there can be anything else. And so when you realize that, you know, he is our peace, he's broken down every wall, you know, every drama, everything, and we can actually live in that. And once you've lived in peace, you don't want to go back to living in drama, and you don't want to go back to being upset about things all the time and having things affect your day. You know, if something happens to me and I happen to, you know, a situation comes about and you lose your peace for a little bit, it's like night and day, and you just basically sort of think, wow, I haven't got any peace right now. And you backpedal and you think, well, all right, I'll put Bluey down. Backpedal and you sort of think, I need to get back to peace. And, you know, you repent of your thoughts or your words or whatever, and take control of the situation again. And just, it's your choice if you live in peace or not. You know, it's your choice. God's given us the peace, but many people don't choose to live in it. They choose to live in drama. And as I said, some people go from drama to drama to drama. They're just always about drama. And it's like, nah, you can have that. It's like when you've had the peace of God, you don't want to be anywhere else. And it's so achievable.
You know, Jesus talks about a peace that remains. And, you know, it's astounding when I look back at the I don't even know how to describe where my wife was before that peace became part of her life. Jesus said, I am your peace.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I suppose in those early days, I still was a brand new Christian when we got married, and I didn't have peace because I didn't know I could, but I was barely saved. And
I was just thinking, I'm thinking back 38 years, and I look at me and I'm thinking, I'm looking old, and you still look the same.
Oh,
you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you, darling.
But
yeah, no, I definitely didn't have peace when we first got married, and it took...
That was to get me some brownie points before she leaves. But
it took me a while to actually learn to stay in peace and to choose peace. It's a choice too. And so once I knew that I could have peace all the time, it's just what you want. When you've had that, you don't want to go back to...
Well, the Bible talks about it being the referee or the umpire of your heart. So when you lose that peace, as Karen described, and you've established between the lines that I'm in peace, then when you go out of the lines, it's almost like you know, the whistle blows and out, come back in.
Yeah, it's like, oh, whoops.
The referee blows the whistle, so to speak.
It's like, sorry, God. It's like, I went off out of the lines there for a minute, but I'm back now. But yeah.
And the thing that I've noticed, and we need to close here, but
yeah, I've got to finish packing my bags.
Is that Jesus is the author and the perfecter of our faith, but he's the referee, is the umpire. He's our wisdom. He is our peace. But I believe that, now I've forgotten what I was going to say. It was really good too. But that place of knowing that it's brought a like a place of harmony. I think what I was going to say is that my wife started, like my kids, and sat under my ministry, and we built churches and we did all the stuff. And they were kind of involved in my ministry and supporting Dad's ministry, to where my wife became one with me in ministry, which culminated with becoming more one in our marriage and life. But I can honestly say that she got to know God for herself. The word became a word that she interpreted and discerned for herself, not to take away from what my kids or my wife learned from me, but they eventually had to have a relationship with Jesus. So the Bible says, if you fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of your faith, then he will guard, garrison, and protect your heart and mind and keep you
in peace.
In peace.
Yeah.
In that safe
in
place.
Perfect peace.
In perfect peace. So anyway, we'll leave you with that little bit of wisdom from Doug and Karen, and pray for Karen's flight. We're watching planes have some real problems the last couple of days. I was getting on the plane to fly home when I'm looking on my phone and seeing planes crash with helicopters and so forth. And pray for those folks, as we obviously will. But pray for a safe journey. Karen's got a big flight, about 3 legs, and then a 15-hour flight to Sydney. Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I just pray, of course, that God will be with her. Everyone on that plane is going to be safe because my wife's on there. Because I'm praying for her safety.
Yeah.
So I love you all.
Yeah. Good to see you all, and we will do it again soon.
We'll be back.
I'll be back.
Me and my dog.
Bluey or me?
No, Bluey, I was thinking of, and my wife. Sorry. That was an Arnie Schwarzenegger. Anyway.
Yeah.
Bye. Not a very good impression, but anyway. Love you all. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.